Hey everyone, let's talk about the Binti trilogy by Nnedi Okorafor. This is a series of 3 novellas following a young African woman leaving her home to go to university. In the first book, Binti, this is what happens. Binti is a young Himba woman who runs away from home to go to a space university, University. So she takes a spaceship, third fish there, and there are things happening on the way. I'm trying to not give away spoilers for the books in general, so I'm going to be vague. So in the first book, we follow her traveling to university with everything that happens. And in this book, we really get sucked into the story. The writing is amazing. It's really well balanced. We get a little bit of the world. We have a lot of questions. And we're constantly on the edge of our seat for what happens next. So after this, I was really anticipating the second book, Home, and I was rather disappointed by it. It's a year later and Binti returns home to Earth and has to face her family, and she wants to participate in a ritual of passage that every woman has to go through to become a woman in the Himba tribe. And in this book, I was really disappointed with the writing. I was bored most of the time, and I felt hit over the head constantly with Binti's struggles, fighting against her family, against the traditions, and really having to be a strong woman, which is important, and it's a part of the series. But in this book, I didn't feel that it was well done. I felt I didn't really know what else the story wanted to tell me. And that really became apparent in the last book. The Night Masquerade is the third in the trilogy and it ends the story. Binti is still on Earth and has to continue with whatever started in the second book. But like I mentioned before, I was so distracted by her inner struggles that I completely missed the story parts and what else was going on that I had troubles getting into this third book. I kind of remember what happened, but not in as much detail as I would have liked. However, the Night Masquerade really sucks you into the story again. The writing focuses more on what happens again and less on Binti's struggles, and we're really sucked into what happens again, and we're fighting, and again we're learning more about the world, we're learning more about Binti and her tribe and all her struggles and everything. So the Night Masquerade is actually a very good ending to the trilogy. Despite after an event happening I thought it's going to end soon, it didn't. And it felt a little bit like The Return of the King, where you were finished with all the story but you still have to go home to Hobbiton. Nevertheless, after reading all of that, I do admit it was necessary and well done, and it was a good ending to the whole story. So looking at the series as a whole, it is a science fiction adventure and it has an interesting world that's using mathematics and meditation in an interesting way. It also has an interesting look at traditions. We see Binti, how she's really fixed and rooted in her traditions, yet they don't inhibit her, but they empower her. And we see in the second book, especially with the struggle she has with her family and her village, is that she doesn't conform to the traditions, that the village is limited. And in the third book, we see where that leads, the limitations and the strict holding on to the traditions and being scared of letting go of things and making open ways, especially when it comes to women and how much power they have and what they can do. And I thought that is the strongest point of this series, that it really shows you how you can still be traditional and gather strengths from your roots, but still be open-minded and expand your knowledge and expand your being. And all of that in a very interesting setting. I highly recommend this series to anyone who's interested in science fiction or wants to get into science fiction and loves strong female characters questioning traditions. And yeah, let me know in comments if you have read the series, if you've read maybe only the first or the second book, if you liked it, what you think. Let's talk about Binti. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.